This year, companies spent upwards of $52 billion worldwide to purchase our personal online data. That includes our age, gender, interests, and preferences, but also things that you've never even thought about. For example, I could use my Facebook fan page to run a marketing campaign, and for €2 per day, I can market to you based on your education, income, marital status, anniversaries, significant life events, luxury spending habits, and even your political views. Hello, universe. In this day and age, companies know exactly the right time and place to get to us with exactly the right product. We need our own strategy so we can filter out all of the noise and temptations and purchase only what we truly want and need. We're going to begin this conversation with our online behavior, not only because a quarter of all sales happen online, but because this is also the place where we often first hear about something or see somebody using it, usually on social media. First step, install Adblock. Adblock is a vital browser extension that hides any annoying ads all across the internet. It exists for all known web browsers and it has its own standalone browser application to use on mobile. Any ads that are appearing on blogs or websites that were there to distract you and make you buy things will disappear. A lot of useful websites and creators rely on these ads to exist. So if you want to keep supporting us or any websites that you really like, there is an option to exclude these websites on Adblock, and then you can continue supporting us by watching some annoying ads. I'm sorry. Then there's also trackers, and these are essentially tiny programs that follow you around the internet and gather information about your browsing behavior. This is how reading a blog post about a pair of shoes might cause you to see those same shoes on Instagram the very next day, and you can avoid these too, or at least minimize them as much as possible by installing the browser extension Privacy Badger. It prevents trackers from following you around and targeting you based on your activities. And finally, if a website asks you if you want to gather data for better ad placements or to agree to all of the cookies, say no and you will have one less reason to shop on a whim. Next, you'll want to unsubscribe from all marketing newsletters. And if you've never done this before, this might take an hour or two out of your day, but after that, it is mostly upkeep. So go through your mailbox and open up any promotional emails one by one. They are required to include an unsubscribe button at the bottom of the page, so scroll down and click on it. You might have to fill in a form or two, but you will never receive promotional posts from that company again. And at that point, the company might try to guilt trip you with a pop-up saying something like, well, if we can't make you happy, maybe nothing else can. And before you feel bad about that, remember that email marketing is extremely profitable and they make $42 back on every $1 they put into it, so don't feel bad. Unfollow brands online. Think about it. Why are you following a brand? Is it because they are giving you value? Is it adding to your life to see what celebrity is now using their product or what they have in store for Christmas? Yes? Okay, well, that's definitely possible and you should follow them then. But you need to unfollow the ones that are just aesthetically posting things to seduce you into purchasing their newest product. Now that you're prepared for the technical part of mindful shopping, we should talk about our buying habits. The fourth step is not to go window shopping or browsing online stores out of boredom and curiosity. And I'm sure you have other things to fill your time with, but just to be sure, uninstall any shopping applications from your phone. You can always access them through the computer with your browser. And if you have any websites favorited, remove those as well, because essentially you want to reach for an item only when you truly want and need it, and when that happens, you will know exactly where to go. You can make an effort to avoid the situations where you might end up shopping for leisure. For me, as a teenager, that was when the winter was cold and I would go to the mall to stay warm. I would always come back with something new, and also very relevant, Black Friday and holiday sales you can't avoid. Unless you actually need something, you don't need to take a look and see what deals are out there. Now let's say you actually need something. Try to apply this one simple rule. Wait a few days, don't go and buy it as soon as the need arises. At some point this past summer, I started spending way too much time on Instagram because I rediscovered the niche of interior design accounts over there. For some reason, the current obsession was tableware and glassware, and they all had these beautiful cups and vases, and suddenly I felt like the things that I had at home were inferior and not beautiful, and I started looking them up and wanting to buy things. But because of my rule, I waited a few days and I realized that these accounts were influencing me in a way that is affecting me negatively. I actually don't really care about tableware and glassware. I care that my general environment is pleasing, and I was able to let go of that desire. I also unfollowed these accounts, not because they are bad per se. I think it's great to share this hobby, but it is not something that is doing me good personally. The sixth step is to start making lists, and these are a great tool to clear your mind, rethink and research your purchase, save some money, and see if you actually think about what is on the list in a couple of months. Personally, I have my wish list in Notion, and this is a great thing to take out when somebody asks you what you want for your birthday or for Christmas, but also they help you shop more intentionally for yourself. This isn't as relevant when you are shopping online because you can just search for what you need and get it straight away. But in real life, you might have to sort through different items and stores before finding what you need. And of course, these stores are full of tempting items for you to buy, and sticking to your list should hopefully help you avoid buying them. I also looked up a couple of studies just to make sure that this is true, and people who shop with shopping lists are actually proven to spend less time in the store, spend less money, and buy fewer items. And if that's not enough, you can also tell the person that you are shopping with that you have a list and they should keep you accountable. Now, let's say that you've waited a few days and you positively want to buy a certain product. This could be a good opportunity to wait for a holiday sale or a birthday coupon from the company, and if nothing comes up, you can at least try Googling the company name and the word coupon to see if there are any promotions out there. There might also be a discount if you're buying several pieces of the same item. For example, you could be saving on the shipment cost, or there's just a promotion. But a word of caution there would be to first try whatever you're buying. For example, if you're getting pet food and your pet has never tried that food before, they might not like it. So the 12-month option might not be great for that. But once you've tried it, you can go and get those discounts. Finally, you can look up whatever product or service you need on Google Shopping to compare the prices on different websites. And now let's quickly go over a few mindset shifts that can help you to shop more intentionally, beginning with the less but better mentality. I had a friend of mine who explained this to me as cheapskates pay twice, and that is not very poetic, but after I heard it, I started noticing it a lot more. For example, a friend of mine bought 3 cars maybe in the last 2 years because she insists on buying a cheap car. She's bought many parts and repairs for the cars as well, and one time she even had to get picked up on the freeway, which is half the price of one of the cheaper cars that she was buying. And I've noticed it in many other areas too. So now I really see that quality pays off. Don't be afraid to find a high quality item, save up for it and purchase it, because in a year or 2 or 5, you will be saving yourself a lot of money on repairs, searching for fixes, and even buying replacement items. And a tiny little bonus tip: if you have a product that you can buy in several installments with a 0% interest rate, you might want to make use of that offer, as money devalues over time. So whatever you agreed to pay upfront will not be worth the same by the time you are actually paying it at the end. And my 9th step is to assess your current situation using a few simple questions. I'll have a list of them down in the description, but a few of them could be: do you have something similar at home? Can you repurpose something else for this purpose, or can you borrow it from someone else? Are you using this for the person that you are or the person that you wish you were? And the 2 probably most important ones are: why do you really need it? What purpose does it have in your life? And does it fit in your budget? In the beginning, I would go through more of them until I got a hang of how I can assess a certain purchase before I've gone through it, just based on the temptation of seeing it and getting emotionally excited, because most purchases are emotional and we can rationalize them to sort the ones that we actually need. And finally, you can look at the habit of budgeting. You can't answer the question of, can I really afford it, if you aren't aware of your budget. It's easier to justify the emotional purchases if you're not looking at the financial side of things, but at the end of the day, you cannot avoid reality, and that includes living within your means. There are definitely lighter and more complicated versions of budgeting out there, but I promise you that I will make a more comprehensive video on that since I've been doing it successfully for the past 2 years. So you might want to subscribe to see that. But for today, if you enjoyed this video, you can leave a like. That will make me very, very happy. And I will see you next week.